Hey students, this is lesson 12.3. In this lesson, we're going to talk about measures of central tendency and dispersion. In general, we're going to try and find the mean, median, mode, and range. And we'd like to start to have an idea about which of those measures of central tendency best represent a set of data. Go ahead and do the review here, and I'll check back with you. All right, so a mean is the sum of the data values divided by the total number of data values. Usually we think of the mean as the average, but as we're going to talk about here, there's more than just one average, and there's different kinds of averages. The median is the middle value in a data set when the numbers are arranged in order. And the mode is the item that occurs the most. Go ahead and do number 6, make sure you understand those. One way to summarize a set of data is to use a measure of central tendency. Normally when we do this, we find the mean, median, and mode, and then we decide which of those measures best represents the data. So let's go ahead and do this, and we'll find the mean, the median, and the mode. To find the mean, we're going to add them all up and divide by how many there are. Find the median, we're going to put them in order and find the one in the middle. And to find the mode, we're just going to try and figure out which number occurs the most. All right, to find the mean, I added up all the numbers and I divided by how many there were, and I got 84.4. To find the median, I crossed out the lowest and the highest, and I ended up with two numbers in the middle. When that happens, you have to find the average of those two numbers, or the number right in the middle of those two numbers. So the median here will be 86. And then find the mode, you just look for the number that occurs the most. And the only one I could find that occurred more than once is 77 in this set. Now to figure out which of these best describes a set of data, we want to just look at the values and see if it's a normal number in that group. Like 77 is a pretty low number. There's only like 3 numbers in the 70s. So I'm going to say that the mode does not really describe this group very well. If there were like 5 77s in the group, then you might say that that is the best representation of this group. The mean, 84, if you look closely, there's I don't know, there's not too many numbers around 84. There's an 85 and an 82. 87 is not too far from that. But if you look at the median here, we have 87s, 88s, 85s, 80, a lot of those numbers. And so in this group, I'm going to say that probably the median best represents that set of numbers. There's one really low number, 72, that kind of brings the average down a little bit, I believe. Somewhat of an outlier, not truly an outlier, but there's no real high values that change this set of data. All right, so go ahead, you try that. Think about which best represents the set of data on the next problem. All right, problem 2 here, finding a data value. So Graham has sales of 1,280, 1,125, 965, 1,210 in the first 4 days of the week. How much must he have in sales on the 5th day to average 1,150? Well, remember that 1,150, if that's the average, then that means that the total divided by the number of numbers is equal to that. And we're just missing one number. So if we were to total these up, and add one more missing number to that, and then divide that by 5, we should get the average, which is 1,150. So to figure this out, I'm going to multiply both sides by 5, and that gives me 5,750. And I'm going to add up all those numbers, 1,280, 1,125. That gives me 4,580. And now I'm just going to subtract 4,580 from 5,750. And that equals 1,170. All right, so that's how you can find a missing value given the information that you have here, that you know the average and you're just missing one. Go ahead, you try that. When you add the same amount to each item, the mean, the median, the mode of the new data increase by that number. The range stays the same. So and that kind of makes sense here. So if you look at this problem, and it says the points scored by Eduardo and Paul during the first 5 games of the season are shown below. What is the range of each set of data? And the range is just subtract the highest from the lowest. I mean the lowest from the highest. So for Eduardo, we're going to do 16 minus 8, which is 8. And for Paul, we're going to do 17 minus 10, which is 7. So that's how you find the range. Okay, and in this one, we're going to add a constant, and we're just going to show that you can add, if you add a constant to each member of a data set, then the mean is going to change by that constant. The mode is going to change by that constant, and the range is going to stay the same. All right, so let's go ahead and find the mean, the median, and the mode here. And the range. And then we'll change the data set. It says here that we're going to add 10 to each, so we'll just change that and see what happens when we do that to each of these measures. So if we compare each of those, we can see that our average in our week 2 is just 10 more than our average in week 1. Our median in week 2 is just 10 more than our median in week 1. Our mode is also 10 more. Our range stayed the same. So remember that if we change something by a constant, adding a constant or subtracting a constant from a set of data, we can do the same thing with the mean, the median, and the mode. All right, go ahead, you try that. Another thing you should know is if you multiply each data value by the same amount, you can multiply the mean, median, mode, and range of the original data set by the same number to find the new mean, median, mode, and range. So let's go ahead and do this. Kenny is researching the price of binoculars. He's finding 6 different models for these prices. He has a coupon for 25% off a single item. What are the mean, median, mode, and range? So the way we're going to do this is we're just going to find the mean, median, mode, and range of the original prices. And then we're going to just scale those by 25% because they will be affected by the same multiple. So we're going to take 25% off of each of those numbers. So to take 25% off, I'm just going to multiply by 0.75. So I'm finding 75% of the number, and that gives me 5162 for the mean, 5250 for the median, and so for the sale prices, and the range is going to be 71.25. Go ahead, you try that, and I'll check back with you. All right, that's all I got for you on this lesson. We'll talk about the rest of it in class, and also remind me that you can find all these statistics on your graphing calculator, and I'll show you how to do that in class. All right, we'll talk about this next time we meet.